Howdy everybody, my name is Wolfie Raptor from Raptor Wolf 3, and welcome to Hybrid Animals with a very special guest. Say hi!
Hi.
We've got Nasi or Nasido from, he does a really great YouTube series called The Diversity of Life, and it's really awesome and you guys need to check it out. I'll put a link in the description.
Oh, thanks.
So, yeah, where he talks about really cool biodiversity stuff, which is very interesting. And I found out that we're both interested in biology, so I figured what better game to express our interests in biology in the animal world than hybrid animals.
Yeah, it looks kind of crazy.
Yeah. Look at that ant over there. What?
Yep, that's my character.
That's angry eyes.
That's me.
For those who don't know and aren't familiar with Nasido, he is an entomologist, which is very fancy Latin speak for bug scientist.
Yes. Yeah,
Studies insects and arachnids.
Yeah, so specifically I study ants.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Specifically I study ants, and I just do a lot of like cool things with them. So I do a lot of diversity kind of research, looking at what the diversity is like in certain areas of the world. I do behavioral stuff, so seeing how their behavior is altered by chemicals in the environment, like pesticides and stuff.
Lion plus tiger equals...
What? You can use Santa?
It comes out of a Mario pipe.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in the experiment mode at the bottom, there's Santa.
Why?
I don't know. Wait,
So what kind of crazy bugs are you making, Mr. Entomologist?
I think I'm gonna go with what you said and combine like the wasp and the ant, and then I'm gonna just throw it. Wait, okay, so you can choose.
That's terrifying.
Interesting.
What would, in your professional opinion,
Yeah.
how would an ant wasp survive in the wild? Or is there actually such a thing as an ant wasp? In which case, I will hide in my house forever and never leave.
There's kind of. I mean, so there are ant species that have stingers, so you can have something like an ant wasp. You can also get. There's a family of. They're a family of hymenopterans. They're related to wasps and ants, and they're called cow killers, or they're like
What?
Yeah, they're almost like solitary ants. They look very much like ants, but they're very fuzzy, and they have like massive stingers. Do you know the YouTuber Coyote Peterson at all?
Oh, he's very popular at my school.
Yeah.
He's the guy who stings himself with a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah. His stuff is really cool because he started off as like kind of like more educational side of things, like really pure educational, and then he of course did like all the intrigue, like I'm gonna get stung by everything stuff, and he still has a lot of really cool information associated with it, but it's just like I like that, seeing that kind of thing pop up on YouTube that can combine the kind of intrigue and also like I don't know, education side of things.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what you do. For those who don't know, me and Nasi, we met because I had to do a project on young, which is like college age to like little kids, people who have been using our sort of generation's uniqueness in ways that help the environment. And I figured, hey, what is the most unique way that my generation and sort of above have helped the environment. And like, what's more unique than a fursuiter who makes videos talking about environmental issues and the diversity of life? And what I decided to do is I mustered as much strength as I possibly could and decided to interview Nasi, and it went great. You were an amazing interviewee.
Well, thank you.
And I got to do a report on him. It's on Twitter, or part of it is, I think. It's all on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was gracious enough to post it on Twitter, and it got big, and I was very, very happy and blushy, and yeah. It was great. So yeah, that's how we know
Well, it was well deserved.
Oh, thank you very much. Alright, let's see what other animals I want to make. What animal of all time would you want to see create a hybrid? Like, if it was actually scientifically possible?
Oh, man. That's tough. I think it would probably be something like a bear and an ant or something like that.
We can make that happen.
I know.
This is science.
This is like the future. We're just throwing things together. I've been throwing Santa in with everything, and it's getting kind of scary.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll make you your bear ant. Alright, confirm the bear is the father. And asking for your professional opinion again, how on earth would a bear ant survive? What would be its
that's a tough question. I mean, I figure that it wouldn't be too different, because bears and ants actually feed on quite a bit of the same kind of thing, like in the wild. They feed on berries, they feed on any kind of scant meat that they can find in the wild, they feed on any vegetation that they can stomach as well. So they have quite a similar diet. Of course, it's at different scales, because bears are massive. But I think the main kind of terrifying thing might be if bears suddenly got the eusocial quality of ants.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just imagine a huge colony of bear ants crawling out from the ground. That'd be crazy.
No, that is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Speaking of my worst nightmare, I have created the bear ant, and it is horrifying.
Oh, very good.
That's the thing that always really scared me about ants, because the whole idea of a hive mind that are a bunch of mindless drones combined by controlled by... Did I say combined? Yeah.
We are playing hybrid animals.
I just find that fundamentally terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of funny though, because there's a lot of research going on right now that's looking into individuality within hive-minded creatures, and there is quite a bit of it. One of my lab mates, she's a postdoc, and she's looking at how individual variation in behavior can increase the survivability of colonies of things like bees, wasps, and ants, and that kind of thing. And they find that one of the behaviors that you'll see in eusocial insects is that they'll make pheromone trails. So they release these chemicals that tell each of the workers this is the path you have to go on to find food, that kind of thing. And it gets reinforced because the more people or the more ants or whatever walk on it, then it's leaving a harder and a deeper trail of chemicals. But there are individuals in the colony that just won't follow that path. They'll actually veer off of it, and they'll say oh, what if I go this way? And sometimes that leads to their demise because they didn't follow the rules, but often they end up finding a new food resource which increases the survivability of the colony. And so it's a behavior that's supported in the growth of the colony and the species as a whole.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, because that could have good sort of implications for human individuality as well.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's kind of making those ties between whether humans evolved to really support the individuality aspect to it, and we didn't go the eusocial side of things, where it's more of a hive mind, and what that means for us as a species, and what that means for the divergence of insects and animals. And insects and mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I mean, one of the things that kind of arises from it that I think about a lot is whether, like, if individuality is selected for enough in these eusocial insects, if it gets to the point, like, in millions of years, of course, it wouldn't happen overnight, but, like, if they would become fully social, right?
Huh. A society of ants.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't really fit in there. Not just because I'm an ant, but also because I'm extremely afraid of insects.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean,
spiders.
and I guess that's kind of like, that's one of the fears of meeting extraterrestrial life is like, how different would they be from us? Have you watched, what is it called? Ender's Game?
I have.
Oh, have you read all the books?
No.
Well, so it kind of, the books especially, it gets into a little bit in the movies, but the books especially get into, like, how different the two species are, and even though, like, they have a very different view on the individual and what society is, like, they all have the ultimate goal of surviving, and what that means for, like, working together as species.
Huh. Well, I've just made myself another monstrosity by combining an owl with a bat.
Oh, dang.
It's called the Hooting Hawk.
Oh, that's pretty cool,
Pretty
though.
sure that's
a
just-
good name.
It's kind of what an owl is, except they work at night and have all those cool adaptations.
Yeah.
Like silent flight, that's so cool. Like, okay, so I spend my summers often in Wyoming,
Yeah.
in Jackson Hole, and oh my goodness, everything is glitching out. And I had, like, a hawk, like, not a hawk, an owl fly, like, right over my head, like, 2 inches from crashing into me. And it landed on a tree branch. And I, like, looked up and saw it, but there was no sound at all. Scared the bejesus out of me.
That's funny. Yeah, it's funny sometimes, like, chance encounters with wildlife. I love watching, like, they're kind of silly and mindless, but, like, YouTube videos about, like, the funny things that people find in the woods and stuff like that. I forget the name of the channel. There was one that I was watching that was, like,
scorpion.
People were, like, walking in the woods, and all of a sudden, like, this, like, hawk jumps up to them and, like, just starts squawking at them, and it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this thing?
That's great. Probably my favorite wildlife, I mean, other than, like, the adorable ones where they're, like, semi-tame lions and they're, like, hugging the human person. Those are always amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the human guy does it. I'd probably pee myself.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
But yeah. But my probably, like, favorite individual clip has got to be the what was I thinking? The one where it's like the raccoon is like in the... It's not like in the car, but it's like by this guy's truck. It's like, what is happening? And the raccoon just jumps out at him.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny.
I think I've seen
It's
that.
like a gif of that, and I love it. Alright. Once you feel that you've got enough hybrid animals, we can go... I believe there's like an arena mode where we can battle it out.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I have enough, I think. This is pretty crazy.
I've got a lot. Yeah. They're,
Okay.
What would you say is your scariest animal that you have right now?
Oh, let's see. I would say probably the Russian Cobra.
What? Wait, what is that?
It's a bear mixed with a cobra.
Oh my god. Is it like a venomous bear?
Yeah, it's like just, it kind of looks like a bear with a really long tail.
Damn. How would that work in the wild?
I don't know. I feel like that's when you're getting into like Jurassic World kind of thing, like just giving the best traits to like the worst kind of thing.
Yeah. We will make Indominus Rex. It will be a thing.
Yeah, we'll find a way to do that.
let's start this puppy. Let's go wild.